there's a book, Haqaiq or Nasihatein, which is published by Maktabat al-Madina, another book that you can download completely free of charge from our website, www.dawateislami.net. And on page 320 of that, it states that a saint has said that I saw a young man in a jungle, far away from people and the populated areas. He was busy worshipping in seclusion. I said salam to him, and he replied to my salam. I then asked him, "O young man, why are you here at such a deserted place where you have no helper nor a companion?" He replied, "Why not? By Allah Azza wa Jal, I do have a helper as well as a companion." And I asked, "Where is your helper and companion?" And he replied, "He has superiority over me with his dignity. He is with me with his knowledge. He is in front of me with his guidance, and his best blessings and his dignity are on my right and my left." When I heard this, I humbly asked, "Will you allow me to have your company?" And he said, "Your company will make me heedless of worship, and I do not like this, because the king of the earth from the east to the west is sufficient for me." I then asked him, "Do you not feel nervous in this place?" And he replied, "One whose friend is Allah Azza wa Jal, how will he ever be nervous?" I asked, "Where do you eat from?" And he replied, "When I was unborn, He, Allah Azza wa Jal, provided me with food even inside the womb of my mother through His divine blessings. And now that I have grown up, He, Allah Azza wa Jal, will provide me with sustenance. He has a fixed amount of sustenance for me, and His time is also written." I then requested him to make dua. So that he made dua for me in the following manner. He said, "May Allah Azza wa Jal protect your eyes from His disobedience, fill your heart with His fear, and not make you among those who become heedless of worship after becoming occupied with other than Him." Thereafter, when he started to leave, I went up to him and I humbly asked, "Oh my brother, when will we meet again?" He said smilingly, "I will not meet you in this world after today. However, on the day of judgment, on all the people will be gathered. If you would want to meet me, then you could find me among those who will have didari ilahi, the blessed sight of Allah Azza wa Jal." I asked, "How have you come to know about this?" And he replied, "By His dignity, I have learnt it through Him, because I have prevented my eyes from looking at haram things and my nafs from satisfying the desires, and adopted seclusion in the dark nights for His worship. I am hopeful that He will be pleased with me, and in return for this, He will let me have His sight." The young man then left, and I never met him again. Allah, 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 Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Viewers of Madani Channel, there was a parable, a story of a young man who went to the extremes of guarding himself, protecting his eyesight, protecting his nafs, controlling himself. I'm not saying to all of the youngsters out there that are listening to me now, leave your homes and go and put up a tent in the jungle and live there. But what I'm saying to you is there's an example there of a person who in his youth, that time, they say that is the time when your hormones are running wild and your energy is there, your strength is there, you feel that you can do anything, you feel that you're the strongest person in the world, you feel that you're never going to die, you feel that you're going to live forever, and all these feelings come inside you when you're young and you're strong. But it's that youth and that strength that you need to control, because if you do not control that youth, that strength, that energy, then that youth, that strength, that energy can be used in the wrong way. And we see people, and I don't have to give you examples, you know yourself. Look around you and you see the majority of the people that are committing sin, whatever the sin is. You want to talk about a sin, talk about any sin you wish, and it's the majority of people that are committing that sin, it's the young people. Because what happens is, as people get older, they become conscious of the fact that, look, we're getting closer and closer to the grave. And you see older people, it's those older people that are in the first saf in the masjid at Fajr, Zohr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. It's the older people that are there. The younger people don't think, oh, we don't need to do it. But if you were to ask them younger people, how did you spend your youth? And now as they're getting closer to that time, when the angel of death will come to them, ultimately the angel of death will come to them, the thought comes to the mind that if only, that, you've done certain things in the youth. And every time we talk to people, if you ask them, what are your regrets in your life? Those that have found Dawat Islami, those that have come into the whole of Dawat Islami, those that have this Madani mindset that we are going to be held accountable, that we are going to die, and they have this fikr, this worry about their lives. If you ask them, what is your biggest regret? And they will talk about their youth. They will talk about the youth and how they wasted the youth and didn't use that youth, that strength, in worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal. They use that youth in going to the gyms and trying to lift up 200 pounds, 205 pounds, 210 pounds, and every day trying to improve themselves. They talk about the youth that went to the gyms and cycled miles, walked miles, rode miles, did all of these things. But what ibadat did they do in that youth? How did they use that strength? How did they use that ability? You know, this eyesight that we have, that we can use, and this intellect that we have that we can use to read right now. Yeah, I can read this booklet in front of me. I can read this bayan in front of me that I have prepared for you. I can read this. But as I get older, maybe my eyesight will get weaker. I may not be able to read it. Maybe my intellect will get weaker. I will not be able to understand it. Maybe my strength will get weaker. I will not be able to express it. So whilst you have this youth, whilst you have this strength, whilst you have this energy, okay, if you utilize that in the way of Allah Azza wa Jal, then the reward is so much greater. I remember my blessed father, when he went to perform the Hajj, I think he was possibly close to 60 when he performed his Hajj. Yeah, I think he was 60. Maybe older than that. Yeah, maybe older than that. He was 60. When my father performed the Hajj, and I remember that he came back and I met him at the airport. And after congratulating my father, hugging him, the first things he said to me, the first words he said to me, I'll never forget it. He said to me, "Beta, perform the Hajj that is farz upon you as soon as possible. Performing the Hajj whilst you are young is a lot better than performing the Hajj whilst you are old. Whilst you are young, the Hajj that you can perform is so much better than the Hajj that you can perform when you're getting older."
We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel.